I'm Master Chef Masatoshi, and I'm here because some of my friends asked me to be. And essentially, we've set up this DeFi boot camp. I think there are a couple participants in here just to like show people the fundamentals of how blockchain and cryptocurrency work, and like how decentralized exchanges and order books and all of the facets that like control how liquidity or money is moving around the DeFi and cryptocurrency ecosystem, and like how you can be essentially like early and ahead of where that liquidity is, and ahead of what may occur in that financial ecosystem. So we're going to talk about a few topics, and like to start, Liquidity is going to literally just get started and show everyone how to create like a non-custodial wallet. And some of you will already have non-custodial wallets. If you don't, like, you can take notes, you can follow along. It's very, very simple, and this is going to give you the first tool that you need to like publicly interact with a blockchain, to publish, to what we say is like publish transactions on the blockchain, right? And that's when people say you send money on the blockchain or something like that. Like, that's just, it's important. Like, from a fundamental perspective, start with understanding that you're learning how to successfully write information to the blockchain, and then where to write that information such that you receive like a net gain on those choices. So yeah, Liquidity, do you want to, is your screen already up? Do you want to just go ahead and get into it and start talking to people about like some of yields? And obviously you're here connected to, what is this, Bomb Farm, an auto compounder
You remember
for,
this? Yeah.
yeah, an
Somebody's
auto comp. How much?
0.9% a day.
It's still paying 0.9% a day. Okay, cool.
Yeah, right?
All right, so why don't we start at the beginning and just go to um like start with some of the diagrams that like describe how blockchain works, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So, hey
Okay.
guys. Hey everybody. Hey everybody.
Can you bring the presentation to the full screen?
Yeah.
You might have to change which screen you're sharing. There you go. Perfect.
You got it?
Yeah, go ahead. So let it rip.
So, hey guys, I'm Liquidity. And first of all, excited you guys are here. This is the first live event that we've had online where basically like we dragged Master Chef off of his trading desk. We basically had to get him like off of his yacht to even talk to you guys. Literally, like we had to get, it was quite the thing. So we're really excited about this, and we're going to really teach you guys the basics of what you need to know to get started in cryptocurrency and DeFi. I have the good fortune to be working for Master Chef for quite a while now. I've learned a ton from him. So it's an honor for me to even be on the stage with him today. But we really want to start at the beginning and give you guys like the information that you actually need to know so that you can get into it. So Master Chef, you want me to start with private public keys? Do you want me to just show the MetaMask? What do you think?
Start with private public keys and just like explain how information is published to the blockchain, because like that's the fundamental understanding that like before you care about the money or like how it works, you have to understand this. Otherwise, you have no ability to secure your funds, understand what you're interacting with, like understand what it is that you're actually doing. And once you do that, like you're a lot more likely to be like secure against hacks, which like what is it this year? 1.4 billion dollars in exploits in DeFi. You know what I mean? Now, like AMMs, lending protocols, and stuff like that, like they've paid out over $10,000 or over $10
10
billion
million.
in rewards, right? So it's like Curve, Ellipsis, Nerve, Pancake Swap, Sushi Swap, 1inch Exchange, DYDX, ENS. Like these are just reward tokens that people earn for either like having their liquidity, using their liquidity on the platform, I had friends who got like up to $3 million in the DYDX airdrop. You know, like all they did was trade on DYDX, trade leverage on DYDX, and got 3 million in airdrops, right? So yeah, you just break down private and public keys and like how blocks are formed on the blockchain and validated, and then like explain the wallet, and then show how you would add a new RPC node to a wallet. Because like that gets us explain public keys and private keys and how the blockchain work, gets us to the node, which gets us to like the wallet client that publishes data to the node using your private key, right? So go ahead.
So in like the most simple terms, guys, the crypto and DeFi are vastly different from normal finance in that all of this obviously is online, you know? And so when you've probably heard on the media, they're talking about like public keys, private keys, you know, all these Bitcoin wallets were lost. Like somebody opened up their Bitcoin wallet and suddenly had, you know, $100 million. Wow. Basically, with cryptocurrency, all cryptocurrency transactions are published on what's called the blockchain. And essentially, the blockchain, in its most simple terms, is technology's answer to like centralized accounting, which is kind of boring, right? But basically, like if I'm doing cryptocurrency transactions, they're always secure, they're hashed, and they're all published publicly for anybody to see, but they're all anonymous. We could actually show them, Master Chef, like what a block scanner actually looks like.
Yeah, so
Too.
so yeah, go through the link and then go to the block scanner, and we'll watch a
Yeah.
few blocks get published.
Which link you want?
Just Etherscan. So yeah, so good way to look it up.
So this is a fun one because this is actually like a whale wallet.
Just go to the homepage of Etherscan, and we'll watch a block get validated. So here are the latest blocks, and if you click on the block number there at the top, you'll see the page will come over, and you'll see the entire size of the block, who it was mined by. And if you scroll down and you click to see more, you know, you'll see a parent hash and a hash.
Mhm.
And this hash is the hash of all of the transactions, of all of the transaction IDs that were validated in the block. Right? So it's a hash of every other hash that's then just validated to the block, and this transaction hash is effectively just a block in the blockchain, right? So go back to the presentation and just go through how go to the next slide and go through how blocks are published, right? So effectively what occurs is you're going to write data to the blockchain. You're going to add information to the blockchain. In order to add data to the blockchain, you always have to sign what you wrote, right? And the way that you sign what you wrote is with your private key. And your private key is formed by taking 12 to 48 words and running those words through an algorithm that gives you a random series of numbers and letters. And by essentially signing any data you publish to the blockchain, the state of the chain can be checked against all other contracts on the blockchain. And the blockchain knows whether or not you are allowed to sign that transaction, whether or not you have the privileges to write that type of data to the blockchain, and whether you've paid enough for the transaction to have the data that you've written to the blockchain included by the validators, right? The nodes recording the blockchain that are allowed that are allowed to mine blocks or published finished hashes of all of the collective hashes that were published to the blockchain is via an RPC node. So in order to sign a transaction to the blockchain with your public key, you need to be connected through TCP/IP, the internet protocol, to a blockchain node that has the ability to submit a transaction or publish a transaction that will allow you to write information to the blockchain. So think of it like that. Like there's a giant ledger in the sky, a giant pay-o list in the sky of who owes who and who has how much of what. And if you have a private key, you have the ability to submit a form that says, please change the information on this giant global ledger, this giant pay and owe sheet in the sky. That's basically the sum of what blockchain is. So, I mean, that's what it is.
Well, and
It's a
also
giant
like,
who owes who.
and so like if people, so for those of you who maybe aren't familiar with some of these terms, like what is blockchain? What's a ledger? Like the way I like to explain like what actually crypto is and the blockchain is basically if we, us in the current financial system, if we want to do something like take out a loan or open a bank account or, use our money, we have to depend on what's are called intermediaries to actually do that, right? So that might be like your bank. Maybe you have Chase Bank or Charles Schwab or something like that. Or maybe you have to use, for example, a stockbroker to buy stocks, whatever. And so one day, a whole bunch of nerds who were really smart got together and they were like, this is not fair. Normal people should be able to access money in a way that makes sense and is safe and is secure and protects them. And because it's, the 21st century, it should all be online. And they invented and they used this blockchain technology to essentially create currencies on it in a very simple terms. And I'm sure like Master Chef can give us like the real story of how Bitcoin and ETH got started. But basically, like this underlying blockchain technology is what powers crypto, decentralized finance, and a lot of other industries. And while it doesn't sound super sexy, it's actually freaking amazing because every single thing that happens in the world of crypto is published somewhere to a blockchain, basically. And blockchains are publicly visible, they're anonymous, and literally, like right now, I'm on what's called a block scanner website, and I can actually see transactions that are happening, right? So, like, if I pull up this random transaction, I don't know what this is, but somebody sent this wallet address, sent money to this wallet address, and they sent 0.05 Ether. That's pretty cool. And suddenly, all of a sudden, all this stuff that used to be happening in a black box, right? Like when I go to a bank and I want to take out a loan, or I put my money into my savings account, I'm only getting 0.01% interest, and I don't know why. Suddenly, all of this stuff becomes visible, and we can actually understand what's going on. And instead of like a small group of dudes in suits in Wall Street deciding how much interest we can earn, and deciding, whether the color of your skin or how much money you make or where you come from determines whether you can access the financial system. Like anybody who can access a wallet and can write information to the blockchain is suddenly able to access this new financial system.
So I guess this is an easy segue. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, can you please voice them? And I know this is like the most abstract and sort of high level chunk, but in a minute we're going to chunk down and like the essence of this is that all of this and smart contracts, the ability to publish contracts on the blockchain, means that people have been able to write contracts that function as automated market makers, right? And the automated market maker is really the key component in the infrastructure of decentralized finance that allows a marketplace to occur and emerge around smart contracts and blockchain in a decentralized manner, right? So here's the thing, is that we have centralized financial markets, and even cryptocurrency exchanges are centralized institutions, right? And what smart contracts have allowed is the automated market maker, right? So essentially, you pay transaction taxes if you swap one token for another, and the people who provide the liquidity, these liquidity providers, are hosting a pool of tokens. So the idea is like, I have apples and oranges, and there are people who want to trade apples for oranges. So I put up a bunch of apples and oranges and say that anytime, without my permission, anyone is able to bring me oranges or apples and get the other in the pro rata value of distribution, the equivalent value of those two tokens. And anyone can do that anytime without my permission. And there is a robot guard at the gate who ensures that everyone gets the correct amount. That's essentially what an automated market maker is. So this means that one token, one type of crypto asset can be traded for another type of crypto asset in a permissionless fashion without a centralized authority, by which liquidity is provided for those pools in a crowd-funded manner, like through individuals who've decided to take the incentive of providing liquidity for whatever reasons, other than the people who are looking for the incentive of trading equities and buying an asset for a low price and selling it in a high price. So it provides a service to those people, and it provides a revenue stream, provides a service to traders and a revenue stream for liquidity providers. And so the ecosystem functions. And once people can swap one asset for another, all different types of assets that provide other types of utility on the blockchain can emerge. So I think this is a good time, Liquidity, to like, if you guys if you notice any questions, Liquidity, in the chat, like let me know. We'll address some of your questions as we go through this next part. But why don't you show people how to create a wallet, right? So just like start from the very beginning. It's super fast. Like open a new instance of Chrome or whatever you need to do. Start a new MetaMask wallet, and then just show them how that works.
Yeah. All right, guys. So, all right. I restarted the stream, so make sure you hop back in.
Yeah, and like if you're not doing it, some of you are probably doing this already, but like if you're not doing this already, literally in the next 10 minutes, Liquidity is going to show you how to, like, quite literally create a wallet, go find an automated market maker or a place where she can provide liquidity, and then like take the steps to provide that liquidity. Take the steps to provide that liquidity. I'll send you some lick whenever you're ready, so you can like ask your friend, like, hey, I want to get started in blockchain. Can you send me an ETH? And like, I'll send you some liquidity to provide on this new wallet that you create, right? So just like, don't expose your seed phrase, right?
Well, I can create a new wallet, then I'll go back to my teaching wallet. We could just use that one.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, perfect.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. So we've talked a lot about really technical stuff, of like, what is the blockchain? What's an automated market maker? Like all this really elevated technical stuff. And a lot of you are probably here because you're like, okay, that's cool, but how do I actually make money in crypto and DeFi? What does that actually mean? The first thing that you need in order to access the cryptoverse is you actually need what's called a wallet. And just like your real life wallet, it holds your cryptocurrency. And so I'm going to show you how to actually get yourself a crypto wallet. And it is a wallet called MetaMask. And I always say this, guys, but we are not like affiliates of MetaMask, or this is not our technology. We just show you MetaMask because it's the most commonly accepted and considered to be safe wallet within DeFi. So you can easily follow along right now as I actually set up a MetaMask wallet on Chrome. And then I'll actually show you guys how to do some of the stuff we've been talking about, like swap and get tokens and blah, 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 so that you can basically understand like what crypto even is, what DeFi even is, and how you can get started right now. So, okay. So what you're going to do, guys, is on your browser, you're going to head to a website called metamask.io. And guys, whatever the fuck you do, sorry, I shouldn't curse. Do not Google MetaMask. Do not type in metamask.com or .net, .org. Go to metamask.io because there's a lot of scam websites out there. And basically you could like download the wrong wallet, blah, blah, blah. So make sure you go to metamask.io. And your site's going to look something like this. It's going to have a bunch of download buttons on it. And you're going to click download now. And then I'm on Chrome, so it's prompting me to install the Chrome extension so that I can have my crypto wallet in my browser. I'm going to click install. And now I'm getting prompted in the Chrome Web Store. And then I'm going to click add to Chrome. Now, Chrome is asking me, are you sure you want to add the extension? Yes, I do. So I'm going to click add. And now it's going to download. And so I see in the chat someone saying use Brave, not Chrome. And yes, guys, generally, if you've been around our ecosystem for a while, we do recommend that you use Brave in general instead of Chrome. I'm only using Chrome for purposes of this exercise because I'm doing a fresh install of MetaMask. But yes, Brave prevents people from tracking you, so it's a better option here.
Dev uses Chrome, is all I'm going to say. Dev uses Chrome.
All right, guys, so I've installed the Chrome, I've installed the MetaMask extension. And now I got this little foxy guy who's following my mouse around the screen. He's very cool. And then I'm going to get started creating my wallet.
What, do you think it'll actually dox your key? I bet it doesn't. Click get started.
Let's see, I don't know. But if it does, I mean, I won't use this wallet anyway. All right. Yeah. So it's going to say new to MetaMask, and we're going to create a wallet. So this one here on the right. Okay, Fatis says, I don't have the blockchain installed yet. Guys, you don't have to install the blockchain. The blockchain exists all over the world all the time because there's hundreds of thousands of machines that are all running the blockchain in little pieces all at once. When we're installing a crypto wallet, all this wallet allows us to do is to talk to and connect to the blockchain so that we can use crypto. Basically, wallets like MetaMask are the world's answer to the really confusing technology that is blockchain. We're going to have a crypto wallet, then we'll be able to actually use the blockchain for our crypto stuff, but we don't even need to worry really about the blockchain because we just have MetaMask and it allows us to use it. Now I'm agreeing. All right. And I'm putting in a password. So guys, you're going to put in whatever your password is, right? Make sure you know what your password is and that it's not the same password that you use for everything else in your life because that's not very secure. In Master Chef, I'm sure you could riff on this for hours about passwords.
My password is literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because no one will ever guess that. I'm joking.
I think you told me once that you had a password that was like 57 characters or something.
Yeah.
So guys, create whatever your password is, agree to these terms of use, and then click create. And so MetaMask plays a nice video. Master Chef, do you want to watch it or no?
No, don't watch.
All right.
Forget their video.
Okay, guys.
You could, I recommend that you do watch it when you go and make your wallet at some point. Like, you know. Okay,
Mhm.
so so this part, this is great. Um, yeah, so just all right, so what Liquidity is about to do is exactly this is Liquidity is about to fail with this wallet. Okay, what that means is she's about to brick this wallet the instant it's created because she's going to reveal this wallet seed phrase to you guys. And like honestly, I'll probably send it some ETH or USDC or something, and like the first person to sweep the wallet can just keep it. So if you're fast, have
Send it like
fun.
3 USDC. Yeah, there you
If
go.
you're yeah, if you're fast, you're welcome to it. So go ahead, Liquidity, and dox the keys to this wallet. Ugh, this wallet is worthless now. This wallet is effectively worthless. I'm totally sending money to it just for the lulz. We'll see how long it stays there.
So what this is, guys, this chain of words is this is actually what's called your secret recovery phrase, which is it's actually a cryptographic hash, but they put it into a series of words to help it to make it easier for us to remember and understand it. And so this is basically your secret passcode into your wallet anytime, anywhere from any device that can access a wallet. So it could be your MetaMask, it could be an app you download on your phone for your crypto wallet, it could be some other wallet in your browser. You can even just write this down and then forget about your wallet, and then in 5 years you'll still be able to use this because it's stored on the blockchain. And Hyperhack says, is this a game? Are we supposed to see how fast we can nab it? I think we are playing a game right now. So yes.
Yeah, there's nothing in there yet, but and I'm not gonna say when I drop it, but you'll just have to keep checking back, you know? We'll see who's fast.
Yeah.
All right, so
Um,
just copy and paste that cuckold doodle do in, and then maybe do you have GPG on this device or no?
Not on this one. So guys, in real life though, when you're creating your wallet, make sure you write this down. And write it down in a place you're going to remember, like with an actual pen. I know this is 2021, but like write it down and like don't like immediately send it to like your boyfriend or post it on social media or whatever. Like just write this down. It's for you.
Yeah,
This is your identity. This is your digital gold.
just keep it private at all
Yeah.
costs.
And so now I'm going to confirm that secret recovery phrase that I just put in. Master Chef, you're giving these guys so much time to actually
To
potentially.
actually, that's not the game. I'm not going to send any ETH to the fucking. I'm not going to send any ETH to the wallet. So it's like the game is going to be that like there's just going to be stables sitting in there, and someone's going to have to add gas to the. First, they're going to have to figure out what network I sent the funds on. That's going to be the first game. So that's important to note that like a MetaMask allows you to connect to the RPC node of any Ethereum virtual machine compatible blockchain. So like you hear about layer one is Ethereum, right? But there are a number of other EVM compatible blockchain layers that you can interact with, from the Binance Smart Chain to Harmony One, Polygon, Avalanche, so many more at this point. It's kind of mind numbing. So yeah, so essentially, like she has a wallet now. This wallet is not secure because she's revealed her secret recovery phrase to someone else,
So all
right?
50 of you.
So like literally, yeah. So like literally, you know, her wallet is already borked. It's useless, and because this wallet is useless, she's got to end the demo with this wallet right here, and time to go to your teaching wallet, I guess, because now she can make transactions and
Yeah.
interact with Web 3.0, right? She can publish transactions to the blockchain. So, are there any questions in the main chat, do we want to take a second to just like stop for questions before you actually jump into automated market makers and how those work and why they work?
Let's see. I'm not seeing any questions. I got to restart my screen though, because streaming.
Okay, perfect.
Hopping to another browser.
There we go. That's actually cool. Does anyone have any questions in the text chat? What does it say? Someone said, "How do I get my lawyer to view the contract?" Dude's got a Pepe. He's so funny. Oh my god. We have degenerates in the fucking chat. This is ridiculous. Okay, so everyone will note that like the cryptocurrency and community, like everyone has attained such a high level of dopamine and serotonin who's in DeFi that they're literally just like it's a constant clown show most of the time because like all right, so let's just go to an automated market maker. Like, hit up. What blockchain are you transacting on your test wallet?
I'm gonna use AVAX because that's where we left off with
Okay,
our
cool.
folks. So I'm on Trader Joe. Give me one sec. Master Chef, I remember the first time you showed me this, and you were like, just click this button and click that button and click this button, and then all of a sudden, my money had just turned into other money, and it had all these funny names like cake, and I was like, oh, it was awesome.
Dude, your FOMO's going through. What's the APY just on Trader Joe right now? What type of juiciness is getting collected?
Let's look. So we have, hold on. All right, so this A-Wool, 336%, Craft, 225, Need is still at 118.
What are you farming right now?
We were farming Key because then we looked at Key. I have Key in my wallet still if we want to pair it.
I think Chicken Farm is launching today on Trader Joe.
Oh, lit! It's there, isn't it? Egg AVAX. There it is, right there. 1100%. Get in that pool. Ape it right now. Ape the egg pool.
I need the contract, Daddy. Where is it? Somebody has it?
It's here. No, it's here. You don't even need it. It's publicly listed. You just need AVAX.
All right, let's walk through that process.
Yeah. Oh my god, this is so exciting. Can you believe it, dude? All I have to do is talk about something in DeFi now and someone finally makes it, you know? Like, oh, he was joking. We took him seriously.
All right. So guys, we were talking about automated market makers earlier and how basically in DeFi, like millions of people all over the world have gotten together and they're participating in what are called automated market makers, which are decentralized marketplaces. It's like, if you think about a marketplace like a fruit market, one person sells cherries, one person sells apples. I might trade my cherries for your apples. And essentially, automated market makers are a way of doing that, but with assets like cryptocurrency and DeFi tokens. So if I have a token like USDT, I can swap it for AVAX, or I could swap it for, a ton of other different things. And then by doing these swaps through this smart contract, which is basically an automated money robot, I have access to all these different assets and I can actually participate and then start to earn some APYs. So, Master Chef, what are we showing them here?
Buy egg and convert all your assets into AVAX first, and then buy egg, and then buy 50% with egg, and then ape into the egg AVAX pool, and farm yourself up some chickens. Did you have to hatch chickens with eggs, right? It just started with the egg pool. Oh, this is gonna be so great.
All right, hold on. Trader Joe's loading. Right, here we
So
go.
I mean, I guess DeFi is like the the derivative of like pure monetary, like meme and social farming in a certain way. Like in a certain way, it's the same thing as like there's a certain social aspect to it, right? Where it's like, you know, people don't try to collect likes, they try to collect holders. You know, it's like you don't want likes, you want holders. And then
And
each
so
of the
what
different
I'm doing, oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just narrating what I'm doing, which is basically, guys, in this teaching wallet that I have a bunch of different assets. So I'm following Master Chef's instructions, and I'm just taking my different assets and moving them to the token called AVAX, which is the core token of this blockchain. That's all. Thanks, Master Chef.
Yeah, so AVAX is like Ethereum and Polygon and BNB. Each of these are different blockchains that have their own assets and pools of assets and ledger, their own ledger that's operating on that blockchain. And then, of course, we'll get into it later, but there are bridges between blockchains as well. One of the things the computer nerds have developed. So yeah, go ahead, make your swap.
All right, my swaps are done. So now I have 0.5777 AVAX.
Yeah. Or yeet the bag, as they say.
All right, I got to find out if egg is listed. It's not
Yeah, it's
listed. I need
listed.
Aggie. It is?
It's
Can you send
listed.
me Aggie's?
You might
Not
have
for
to
me.
clear your Farmer Joe cache. That's why you're not seeing it.
LeBlanc, can you just pop up the
Yeah.
contract Addy in the chat? Copy it. Let's think it's easier.
Oh, LeBlanc's got the Addy.
He's has every Addy.
Dude. Actually, dude, wait, what chart is that? Is that the 1 hour? Go to click on the 4-hour chart really quick.
He?
Oh, that's Key. Key looks bullish right now, actually. Where's the egg chart? I just want to see the egg chart.
I know, I'm waiting for the Addy. All right, there we go.
He's teasing you.
He's got it. All right, guys, so this is what's called the token address. And
It's the
basically,
address of the smart contract that governs the token's rules. So, information that's been published to the blockchain that other information can interact with. Go ahead.
I'm going to swap 0.28 backs, guys, because then we're going to provide liquidity.
And sorry for interrupting you, Liquidity. I apologize.
No, please do.
Okay. Wow. You got egg? There you go.
Eggs. I had eggs for breakfast this morning too. I feel like this is is bullish for my day.
Does that mean I should buy eggs I should buy egg every day for like the next 2 weeks? It's so stupid, it's almost guaranteed to moon. Look at that, it just broke out. Wow. Look at it. It's chatting.
So I did my swap for egg, and now I'm actually going to, won't find it, why?
Go back to the actual farms.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. So now I'm on the farm page, guys, and then I'm going to open up this egg AVAX farm. All right. Oh no, it won't let me do it. I have to do it through pools.
Okay. You got to add the contract address then. So
This. No. Oh, I know why. Oh, there we go. All right. So this is our
So
pool.
go ahead. Oh, bullish. Will you still have AVAX left to pair with your rewards? Okay.
Oh, I have a little bit.
So
All right.
what does it pay? We don't know what the pool is paying yet. Did it say Joe and Feed are the tokens you get paid?
Let's look right after I supply this. 1 sec. Yeah,
So
you were
you
mentioning
actually,
all the different ways you can get paid in DeFi and crypto, right? Earlier, Master Chef. I think that's really cool factoid for
yeah.
this.
So in this case, there are basically four ways that you can earn, or I guess 5 ways you can earn tokens. So you can receive an airdrop, you can get an emission, you can get a rebase, you can get a reflect, and you can get seniorage. And so those are the 5 different ways that it's possible to earn a reward. And I guess if you're a liquidity provider, you also do get liquidity provider fees. So there are really 6 ways. Liquidity provider fees, which usually are accompanied by an emission, right? So you usually get liquidity provider fees and an emission together, or you get a rebase, or you get a reflect, or you get seniorage. So in a rebase, the total supply of the token is automatically changed, thereby allowing you to receive a pro rata distribution of the expansion of the supply of the tokens. In an emission, the token is on a bonding curve. So the supply of tokens is emitted to the users of a platform for providing different services in the platform. So ownership in the platform is distributed to the people effectively who help provide liquidity for it to function. A reflect is when tokens are transacted, they're automatically redistributed via a tax to a portion of pro rata to the holders. And seniorage is when there is a secondary token that receives a distribution of rewards when the token supply is inflated, but normal holders of the token do not receive rewards. So essentially, like our monetary system now, the fiat monetary system, is a seniorage system, right? The monetary supply is inflated, but the elite, the holders of the seniorage shares, receive all of the benefits of that inflation. So that's kind of how it goes. So in this case, she's getting an emission, right? There's an emission from the automated market maker. In does it say what the reward is paying there? Joe and Fee. Nice. And it doesn't say how much you have now, but the APY. So the APR is 110. The bonus APR is 1,000%. So I guess the Joe is paying 100% per year right now, and you're getting an additional 1,000%. So if you divide, can you pull up your calculator right now? So this reward that she's getting emitted, this bonus APR is getting emitted on a bonding curve. There's a new project that wants to incentivize people providing liquidity for it. So they're bonding out the supply of the new token to their liquidity providers. So as they're bonding it, there's a chance for people. There's $798,000 of liquidity in this pool right now. There's a chance for people to provide this liquidity and capture that APY, which will diminish over time, right? It's bonding on a curve. So that APY today, right now, it's paying out a variable APY of 1,095%. So if it's
Another
paying
important
1,000,
note.
yeah, thank you. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
another important note is that on every trade that other people do in that AVAX pool, liquidity is getting of fees. Every time they trade, they pay a fee, and it goes to all the liquidity providers.
Right. So when Mary just swapped for egg, right? When liquidity just swapped for egg, the the egg is that she swapped for with AVAX, she paid the people who are already providing the $798,000 worth of liquidity a 0.5% fee, right? That's what Trader Joe's fees are? 0.5 or 0.3?
It's either 0.5% or 0.3%.
So typically an automated market maker will charge between 0.3 and 0.5% to the liquidity providers, typically with a small amount of that fee going to the platform itself. So she paid, if she swapped $100 of AVAX for egg, she paid 50 cents in fees or 30 cents in fees to make that exchange, right? And that 50 cents went to the people providing this liquidity. So I guess, yeah, go ahead and add liquidity, stake your liquidity.
I did, yeah. I mean, the cool thing,
Oh, it's
guys, is
staked.
like in this just 15 minutes or whatever we've been riffing about all this stuff, like I've done all these different transactions on this automated market maker. I swapped some assets, and then I actually did what's called providing liquidity, and then I staked my liquidity tokens. And now I'm basically going to earn money in two different ways here. So I've provided my LP token, and so I'm going to get those fees that Master Chef and LeBlanc were talking about, where when other people are swapping for AVAX and egg, the protocol is going to charge them a little bit of a fee, and then I get a tiny portion of that. So I'm getting paid basically for giving my assets to the protocol for safekeeping for a little bit of time. And I'm also earning interest on my deposit just because they want to incentivize me to keep my assets in the protocol. So I'm going to actually earn these rewards. So I'm going to earn the token Joe, and I'm also going to earn the token feed. And so this is, it's really cool, right? Because if you think about like your savings account, it gives you like 0.2% a year, and all of a sudden I could participate in this pool where I'm getting an APR of basically 1,100%. Like that's pretty radical.
So I have a question. First of all, can you pull up the compound interest calculator? And then also worth noting that I wanted to do all this kind of in order, but just worth going over market depth right now and how that influences volatility on an automated market maker. So
which one do you want? We could do daily.
Yeah, so that would be good for this because it's important to note there's only $786,000 of combined liquidity in that pool. That means that the market depth for the token is only $345,000, right? $360,000, something like that. What is it? 700 and what? 98. So it's actually there's actually almost $400,000 of actual AVAX market depth there, right? Only $400,000. So it's important to note that the pool will be very volatile in both the upward and downward price direction. If there's only $400,000 of liquidity, if I want to buy $40,000 of that token, I'm going to displace almost 20% of the liquidity pool. There will now be $440,000 of AVAX and 10% less egg in the AVAX pool, right? And so the price of egg would go up by roughly 20% with a $40,000 purchase. So it's this idea of what we call price impact, and the automated market maker being governed through this K equals Y times X formula, where Y and X are the price of egg and the price of AVAX. So, just noting that this is a volatile asset. So the price of egg will fluctuate significantly. And that means that there's volume, people are buying and selling egg, and you are getting paid more liquidity provider fees. So if you go to the compound interest calculator right now, so this might be like a short hold position, right? You're not going to try it, and also imagine if there's $700,000 in liquidity right now, or 800,000, and the liquidity goes up to 5 million, then you will have gained roughly a 500%. The price will have gone up probably significantly more than 200 to 500%, depending on how much liquidity people are adding of what they're purchasing. So, yeah, let's just rock out the
All right.
initial amount. So you have $40 in there, and you have theoretically you could just calculate it yearly. Oh no, you want it to compound daily, right? So,
Yeah.
So 1100 divided by 365 is what?
Let's see.
Like
That is
3.6. Is it?
3.01.
01.
Yeah.
Percent daily is what you're getting
Mhm.
paid. Okay, so let's just say you do it for, let's say that APY will maintain stably for let's say maybe, I don't think it's going to be stable for a full month, but just say a full month, even though we know that it would diminish slightly. So 1 month and compound daily at that rate. And then just calculate it and see what you get after. So $40 would be the effective it. So $40 you would make $58 if it stays at that rate for the month. You'd have $58 in profit from your $40, right?
And a 5 million annual percentage rate.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like you can imagine how you can imagine how if you don't want to you wouldn't put all of your money in a pool like this, right? You might put 1% or 3% of your entire bag, probably closer to just 1%. But even if you have a bag that's $10,000 and you put 1% in, so you put $100, and after a month that $100 grows to become $200, and you're doing that with 5 to 10 to 20 different things, that's a lot more passive income for a couple clicks on the internet than most people ever achieve making trying to build an online business or something like that. It's pretty easy to play a little bit of these automated market makers and liquidity providing a few times a month and get to about $1,000 to $3,000 in yield is not difficult to achieve with not a large portfolio, So, I mean, depending on how much you're going to play around, right? But I anticipate the price of egg will go up. It just launched today. They've got to get word out. I think this could go to an easy $2 to $3 million in the LP. 2.2 to $3 million. What is this? It's a DeFi game. Chicken farm. This is ridiculous.
This is their site, guys.
Yeah, this is so ridiculous, bro. Oh my god. This is awesome. Go to the market. Let's see what we can do with this feed once we get it.
Oh, it's
Wow.
NFT. Wait, look at this,
Wow.
guys.
The floors on these chickens. This is so stupid. It's such poor quality. I can't. This is not gonna last, but it is gonna pump. Wait, how much are the unique chickens right now? How much are the most?
This one's selling for 1,000 AVAX.
They want it's a common though. It's not even rare, but they want
Elite.
1,008.
Here's
Oh my god!
an elite for 40, a rare for 88. AVAX is about $100 right now.
The chickens lay
So
eggs,
they
right?
recently had an AMA with Trader Joe, which is a pretty cool AMA. I've been somewhat following this project because I think it's just hilarious.
Yeah, it's
Um,
great, dude. It's great.
but yeah,
Look at the chicken with the UGG boots, dude. This bougie chicken has UGG boots, dude. It's a
yeah, this kind
legendary
of
chicken
project
has
is
UGG.
more like memey and fun and kind of like a game.
Yeah,
But there's other projects that, you know, are more useful and have like serious like
yeah,
financial utility.
yeah. Why don't we give an example of one? Considering this is just our the degen farm that we chose for free money based on a meme, which is why not? This is actually going to be insidiously successful, dude. These ape. Oh god. Yeah, just get away from this. So what do you want to check? What do you want to check out, uh, LeBlanc? Like, what do you want to? Which protocol would you give? Let's give an example of some serious utility. So, what protocol would you like to show them and describe?
Um, to be honest, I think that Curve is like the epitome of
Yeah,
the
yeah. Let's
utility
go.
and actual
Let's
like
let's
usefulness.
go to Curve. I would agree, dude. I would confer that Curve is the absolute best possible decision that you could say. So let's see. You want to go to Curve to AVAX? Do they have Curve on AVAX yet or
Yeah,
no?
avax.curve.fi.
Yeah, there we go. That's bullish. I'm gonna be angry when I see the APY and I realize I'm not in these pools right now, right? Oh yeah, yeah, I'm ticked, dude. 20% APY on USDC on Curve, bullish. I'm all about it. So, guys, can you scroll down a little bit?
Yeah.
Liquidity. Um, okay, guys. So this is Curve DAO, and Curve DAO. You can see the level of deposits on how it's significantly larger. If you scroll down a little bit, you can see there the deposits. This is just on AVAX, 1.25 billion in deposits, and 1.25 billion in deposits, and basically, this is a stable swap. You can see here the daily volume was 36.3 million dollars. Um, Sean, you want to explain what this
Yeah.
does?
Yeah, and also that 36 million is only on AVAX. They're actually on like 5 or 6 other chains as well, with Ethereum being the most
The
volume.
largest. Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, Curve has created an AMM that does super well at transacting tokens that are close in value to each other. So when I want to transact something like DAI or USDC, both are stablecoins, both are close to $1. I can transact those for extremely low fees and slippage, which means that on every DAI or AVAX that I trade, I don't have to spend like nearly as much money as if I were to go to Trader Joe or Uniswap or these other AMMs that use a different model. And then one of the things about Curve, which I think makes it so interesting, is how they incentivize a lot of these pools to come up. Because if you think about it, what is the incentive for me to go in and provide liquidity so that other people can trade? Fees, yes, sometimes that might not be enough. Like sometimes there's other places where I can put my funds. So how do they make it so that they have deep liquidity pools in order for people to trade with and in order for it to work? Well, one of the ways is the Curve token. And not every token in crypto is actual utility and usefulness, and I think Curve is one of them. So the Curve token you can actually buy, and you can vote on and lock and vote for emissions. So I'll give an example. There's many protocols that are going out and buying this Curve token because they want to be on the Curve platform. So what they'll do is they'll buy just a ton of Curve and then vote for emissions, so that they can have a liquidity pool on Curve. So that creates like real value for the actual Curve token. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
And
I
the
mean, it
other
makes sense
way,
to me.
yeah, the other utility for Curve is actually you get a portion of the trading fees on Curve. And you know, if you think about it, like one of my favorite things is when a token or protocol has underlying revenue that goes back to the holders, because it's literally like owning part of the protocol. If you own part of the protocol and the revenue is continually increasing over time, it only makes sense to like want a stake in that, because you're getting paid a salary just for owning the token and over time for people trading.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I think that the long-term bull case for Curve is extremely, extremely high. I think stablecoin markets are only getting bigger. More and more people are unbanking themselves, and like if you are unbanked, or you know, mostly unbanked, like 90% unbanked, um, which I think some of us here are at that point, then you interact with CurveDAO. Like if you are among the unbanked, you are interacting with CurveDAO, because CurveDAO is essentially the safest place for you to deposit your stable coins and earn a extremely generous annual percent yield. Like right now, I think scroll down a little bit, Liquidity. We've got on Ethereum, because I'm usually on mainnet with most of my liquidity, because I think side chains are boo boo ever since Solana got shut down one day. But go down a little bit. So like if you're a boomer like me, then like you just stick to ETH. Don't worry about the side chains. If you are 18 to 35 and you are not farming layer two solutions, then what are you even doing with your life? Like, because none of us work. Like none of us work. Like we all made retirement money between March and, you know, between like March and May of last year, we all made retirement money, and like it's going to happen again this spring as there's another wave of adoption, right?
I
So like
can't wait.
the network effect taking place, and people like entering the learning curve of decentralized finance, and with like people like us who now have the time to educate people a little bit, like some of those like adoption, I call them adoption bottlenecks. So it's like when we see contraction in crypto markets, it's because there's an educational impasse in the adoption of the tools required to interact with the blockchain, right? So here's CurveDAO. If you're unbanked, you're in CurveDAO on ETH. You're probably in that UST pool at 6.7%. What's the total? Oh no, what are the actual total liquidities? You're probably in that MIM pool, earning
Yeah.
you about let's see, 13.52% in Curve plus 5.4%. So you're earning about 18% APY. You're in that MIM pool right there, and earning 18% a year. So just like for reference, like if you have $300,000 in that pool, that $300,000 is emitting you $36,000 a year of free float without your $300,000 being at risk, right? If you have $1 million in that pool, you're making what is that? That's 102,000 a year, right? So if you have $1 million in that pool is paying you you know $9,200 a month or something, $9,400 a month, just chilling. You're not doing anything. It's just printing every day. You go and collect your money, sell it for stables, add it back to the pool. So something to think about, you know? So this is Curve.
I love it.
Uh,
This is like mastership. What
you
you
got,
always say is like just click buttons, make money. It's like so easy, once you know how to click the buttons. It's like that's the learning curve, is learning how to click the buttons, and then as you said, you just chill. And that's been one of the most breakthrough things for me, especially like, working for you and learning from you. And also being a woman in this space, like as a woman, it's like I'm always thinking about things like generating passive income. Like I'm thinking about my family, things like that. I mean, for me personally, right? Not all women, but for me personally. And so I love being in a space where I can generate passive income and have the time, attention, energy to do other things.
Yeah, I mean, but like if you have an oppressive boyfriend who controls you with money, like, and like you just like stay around because it's more financially comfortable or like anything like that, or like you can't leave or anything like that. Like we had a girl who went through one of our programs. She started with like 5 grand, 6 grand, in like 2.5 months she made like 160 grand. She got in beefy early and cake early, and like really just like took to it really fast. She made like 160 grand. Like 2 months later, she broke up with her boyfriend because like he was just mean. He was just mean to her. I mean, it's true. Like she was like all of a sudden she was like just like she'd gone from like being in COVID, in the state of COVID, and like being down to her savings. She told me she was like she like 3 weeks after she started doing crypto, she found out that she needed some surgery and something that would have wiped out her savings. Like by that time, she'd already like 5 or 6x'd, you know? And so it's like she was sitting at like fucking 20 grand or something like that. And she like paid for her surgery. And then like from that 15 grand, she like 10x that again in the next 6 weeks, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, so that's it. Basically, like, right now, like if you're here and you paid attention, you took notes, like we pretty much gave you the keys. Like you can easily, like, get staked in Curve DAO, read the documents. Important thing to note: who you go to the bottom and show people there, or maybe it's on the top on Curve, the top bar. There's a little thing that says documents somewhere. Oh no, developer docs are at the bottom, huh? Yeah, they are at the bottom.
Yeah.
Usually it's at the bottom, at the very bottom of the page. You can go to the developer docs.
Maybe
You know, yeah, maybe they've got a Git book.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. So most projects will have what's called a Git book. So it's not like their white paper or their developers docs, but it is a description of how everything, and it's effectively a guidebook to their protocol. So this is where you go if you want to understand. You see understanding curve pools, understanding curve gauges. This is like all the detailed math of how the voting weights, the tokenomics, how the multi-chain works, the base and meta pools, all the different facets of the curve platform, confirming the contract addresses that the contracts are deployed to on the blockchain. And like just now, like if you got 300 grand in stable coins, like you could retire to Southeast Asia somewhere and be totally, you know. So like you've gotten all that information. If you're interested in like learning more, staying on the cutting edge, like having guidance where people give you like get down into the nitty gritty and details and like really walk through all of these interactions, how to assess these different type of Git books. Of course, could you go to Trader Joe's Git book now?
Yeah. Hang on.
The chicken farm. So all these projects, have documentation and Git books somewhere. Here's Trader Joe's Git book. This has all the information on Trader Joe. So we teach you how to really like go through a Git book, understand tokenomics, understand the implications of different ways that they've launched, whether there's VC capital that's waiting to dump on you, what the token distribution is, how to read the block explorer, all of the different, sort of experiences and expertises that you can adapt that allow you to really have like free will and control to like make your own decisions, understand if a project has potential, what its potential is, where you are on an adoption curve. And so really like the fundamentals, something we didn't get into today that I was going to go into is like market structure and funding rates on order books and how you can use that to understand how liquidity is flowing around the market. We'll probably do another free webinar at some point, just share more information with people. Maybe we'll have time to get into it. But this covers like the base of kind of like the lowest risk, highest yield way of making money in blockchain right now, which is being a liquidity provider for automated market makers. We didn't get into lending protocols or collateralized debt positions. I definitely didn't have time to get into the dark forest of Ethereum and like, miner extractable value, flash loans, liquidity pool snipers, some of these more advanced methodologies that we use to capture revenue in an automated fashion from the blockchain, and tools that invest in those types of things. Like Mystex, or what's the other, Eden, Mystex or Eden or something like that, right? Yeah, so basically that's it. Is just, we'll leave you guys at this. If anyone's interested in learning more, I think Liquidity will give you guys all the information and stuff like that on what steps to take to get in contact and join the program. I think we have a 4-week boot camp that we use to get everyone started. We go through all the processes, take you through all the different types of tokens, how to analyze them, how to ape in and out, how to do cursory checks of smart contracts for potential vulnerabilities, mint exploits, unlocked liquidity, effectively the checklist you need to know if you're safe interacting with the blockchain, and to keep your funds effectively safe while also just earning passive rewards from all of these protocols that are just basically dumping free money, like making it rain free money on people who know how to click buttons. Like, you click the right buttons and they rain. So
I'm going to pull something else up real quick, but I'm going to stop my stream and then reopen it.
okay. And then maybe if Como wants to open the voice chat for a few minutes, people, if they want to talk or they have some questions or something like that, like they can give people
We
a
can take
chance to
some
talk.
questions from the live chat.
Okay, yeah.
And
If there are any questions, now's the time to answer. 15 more minutes, and Liquidity will post some links, I guess.
Yeah, one sec. Pulling them up.
Wow, the mods are epic. You guys did a great job. Can someone drop the chicken?
The best team.
Chicken. Click buttons, make money. Free money is yo. I mean, it's really
Someone
like.
asked.
Yeah, go ahead.
Someone asked, like, what are the risks overall for crypto? And my
Okay,
answer
so
was the biggest risk is yourself, because you are in charge of your money, not anyone else.
yeah, absolutely. The biggest risk is losing control of your keys, is doxing your keys. So you have to keep your private keys private. And of course, there are people out there who make very, very clever attempts to steal your keys from you, to get you to interact with malicious profile, smart contracts and things like that. And in general, one of the things is, don't follow shills from anonymous bots that end up in your Telegram. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't use shill channels. Read all of the documents, make sure the developers are present in the project, different things like that. How DeFi can lead to distribution of wealth for a greater good. I mean, yeah, here's the biggest thing, that capital markets are highly exclusionary, right? You have to be you have to be a qualified investor to be a day trader. If you want to trade the daily swings on the New York Stock Investor, you have to prove that you have a certain amount of liquidity, and you can't participate if you only have $1,000 or $2,000. You can use platforms that are built for retail investors to trade fractions of shares and things like that. But the issue with those is that they, effectively sell their order flow and allow people to front on their customers. They're not getting true and accurate pricing. What decentralized finance does is it opens up financial markets, especially these layer 2 solutions, to anyone, and creates accessibility no matter how much liquidity you have. So no matter where you are in the world, if you have a phone, if you have a smartphone and an internet connection, you can create a wallet client and publish a transaction to a blockchain node. Some of these layer 2 solutions, transactions cost merely cents, meaning you can start investing with as little as $10 or $20. And because there's rapid growth in some of these ecosystems, and because the liquidity is small, a lot of projects that start off with small development teams and relatively thin liquidity, but do have massive on-chain utility and will create revenue for themselves start with extremely thin liquidity. And that benefits smaller investors who are more willing to enter these ultra micro cap projects and high risk pools. So it's like when I invested in PancakeSwap, I think it was 4 hours old when I got in. There was a total of like $135,000 or $50,000 in liquidity. And I had to actually wait for the liquidity to grow and dollar cost average my bag in. Otherwise, I risked potentially being a bag holder on the project, right? So I bought 5% of the project over a few days. And, today PancakeSwap has, can you go to PancakeSwap and just check the TVL of the Cake BNB pool really quick?
One sec.
And by the way, this website didn't look nearly this good when this is probably one of the single best investments that I've made in my entire life. PancakeSwap. Go to farms and just check the liquidity pool, and probably created like a greater. So it's like funds and investment groups and small family offices and stuff. Like they don't get in these things until they're larger. So today the LP has $300 million of liquidity in the Cake BNB LP.
Woo!
Right? Like 300 million of licks. So I got in this pool when there was sub 300,000 of licks. So there's 1,000 times more liquidity now than there was the day that I got in, right? So this project went, over, I think I went over 1500x on this and took ultimate final sale, but took profit all along the way, which of course got invested into other projects and things like that. So, these projects, when you find them right, like if you find one in a new ecosystem, like I did with this, a single one can print life-changing money in a 6-month period. Like you can turn $10,000 on some projects potentially into tens of millions of dollars. Like one that I missed, but I had the opportunity. I was holding it low and just didn't stay in it because I didn't see the opportunity. And like we all miss things, is Terra Luna. Back in March of last year, Terra Luna was 15 cents. It's currently $96. So if you'd purchased $10,000 of Terra Luna in March when I first saw it on PancakeSwap, right? It would have created roughly $60 million by holding it till now, and I would have been bonding for UST. So it's like really like this is what we're doing is we're finding early projects where there are tokens on emission curves, holding that emission, and then if we think that the project is good and has long-term legs, we're maintaining exposure of it for the long term. We're getting in early and claiming profits from the listing pumps and then going back in with a percentage of our profits for the long term, right? And like getting a single good one and having exposure to a project that finds a market share and has strong utility. The same thing happened with CurveDAO. It's at a $3 billion market cap right now. Just a couple of years ago, CurveDAO was at a $300,000 market cap. And new utilities are getting found. They're yield aggregators. We have decentralized reserve currencies now. And, the market will continue to expand. Are there any more questions in there? Any questions, comments, concerns? But I hope that explains like the distribution of wealth question, which is basically like anyone can participate. It's permissionless. There are no guards at the gate, so to speak. Sean, do you want to just like break down a little bit of like what your experience with DeFi was and like what's happened in your life, like what you were doing and how it changed and like transformed like how you interact with life itself?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I first started learning about Bitcoin in 2016, and then the whole, 2017 bull market happened, and it made me really interested in what was going on in the space. Fast forward like years, I kind of like stopped paying attention. And it was really 2019, 2020 when I really started picking everything back up. And I started noticing developing happening, and like all these projects that were nothing in 2016, 2017 were actually like deploying dApps, decentralized applications, and really deploying products. And I saw that trend happening. So I was like, I just started reading, watching videos, and really just interacting with all these smart contracts. Like when Synthetics, launched the first liquidity mining ever, Compound, Curve, YFI, all these OG ETH DeFi protocols. I just started playing around, even though like a lot of it at the time I was losing money because ETH gas fees were high and I was really, really poor, like living paycheck to paycheck. I thought the technology was so cool and that, if I just spent time in the ecosystem, opportunities would come. And eventually they did. And with um, the asymmetric knowledge that I had versus other people, because I had, been in this space, or I already understood all these things, I was really able to catch on to these trends. And then, like along the with the help of Master Chef and Liquidity too, uh, we really caught on to some trends. And since what, I can't remember, a year and a half ago, I've been like, or maybe a year ago, I've just been really focused full time on farming, and I ended up quitting my job, and I'm just farming full time now.
And what like
And trading.
it,
And
yeah,
trading.
in terms of like what does your life look like? So you're like where? Like living in Kansas and like working at the gym or something, and now you like what do you do? Like
Yeah. I mean, I had many, like I was working through many jobs at the time. Like I worked at a gym for 7 years. But like COVID hit, and I quit that because it became really, really hard and really rough. And I ended up doing some other stuff. Actually, I don't tell a lot of people this, but actually my last job, while I was really in deep in crypto, and uh, I mean, I was making a lot of money at that time, but my last job was I was delivering for what's it called? Amazon. And so you can imagine, like in between my stops, I was making trades in
you're
like
like flipping out the Chromebook. You're like flipping out the Chromebook and fucking like
I was
providing
literally
liquidity and making trades.
I was literally compounding. Uh, I can remember farms that we were in together, and I was literally compounding in between
Like
on
pull out,
Telegram with.
throw out the packages, hop back on TG, compound your rewards, and like so Liquidity. Can you go and just show like go to the compound interest calculator really quick and just show like what even 0.5% or 1% per day compounded daily ends up after a year and a half?
All right. So,
Do like 10 grand.
Yeah.
okay.
And that's like one of my main things is like compound the interest is literally the eighth wonder of the world, said by Einstein, because it really is.
Do 0.5% 1 year. That looks good. Oh yeah, 1.5 years, perfect. And then be frisky with it and say you add 500 a month or you add 300 a month. So you dollar cost average an additional $300 a month in, made at the beginning of each period. Yeah, calculate that.
I see a question in the chat of what's the best way to get in touch with us? We're going to publish a lot of links at the end of this, guys, so just hang tight.
Yeah, so here's $10,000 at 0.5% over a year and a half, right? That's $184,000. Okay, now expand that because of compound interest. Expand that out to 3 years. And this is where shit gets hilarious. This is where you go, oh fuck. See, so like this is what's going on. Like I've been farming since DeFi summer July on Sushi Swap, and some of the tokens that I was farming went 10 to 200x in price as well, right? So it's like if you're capturing and compounding yield on a daily basis and compounding it, now take that up to 1%, because I think Sean is pretty solidly hitting 1% per day. Like you averaging close to 1%, 0.7, 0.9, something like that, bro, across all.
No, I'm a lot chiller nowadays.
Oh, you got
it's
that big bag of stables, and now you unbanked retired, huh?
my portfolio
This is
is
1%.
highly in stables for the income, the safe
Yeah,
income.
So it's like this is 3 years is 600 million. So you're probably not going to get to 600 million because you'll suffer losses along the way. You'll take profit. You'll do things, right? But if you end up somewhere between the 3-year trajectory at 0.5% a day and the what is this? This is at 1% a day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the 3-year trajectory at 1% a day, like you have gobstopper money. Like you're stoked. Like you like trust me. Like take it from me. If you get stuck somewhere and there are no flights and you get frustrated, you're calling a fucking jet. Like you don't give a fuck about the extra fucking 30 racks or 20 racks. You're like, oh yeah, I gotta take a 3-hour flight. There's no flights tonight. No hotel rooms. Call the plane. Let's go. And it's like that's the opportunity this has. It's like you're talking to someone here who's like this guy LeBlanc is so awesome. I've literally watched him just like learn so much, and he got to a point where he was comfortable converting most of his gains into stables. He's comfortable with that 30% per year because where he's living and like what his lifestyle is, like he knows he can take a little bit of his other stuff, potentially trade his other like his higher risk bag of like 20 or 50K, trade that up to another, couple little nuts of value, and then put that in stables again. And that's kind of like the approach that seems to be healthy and work for people. Cake actually looks like it's doing super healthy after quite a consolidation. Like if when we get this spring run up, I would not be surprised to see Cake go through a very healthy pump. That's quite a consolidation,
Well, and I wanted to show this chart because I remember when you called Cake. It was right around here. It was like early October of 2020. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember you telling me, you were like, get into Cake. And I was like, all right. And so I bought some Cake, and it kind of hovered around this like 45-cent mark for a while.
But
Then it went
still
up to
making you
$1.
1% a day. Still making you 1% a day, compounded, right? Like you were still
And then it hit that
compounding.
all-time high of like $44 or something like that in May. And it was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I took a lot. You can see me taking a lot of profit here.
Okay.
No, but lols. But I did sell it about like $36 or something like that. I grabbed a good chunk of profit off of there and stabled it up and stuff like
This
that.
is the Master Chef little dip before the run up again, I can see.
Okay, there's a
No.
couple things I want to begin with, if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I would say just like the main thing for me is like if you spend time in the space and invest in yourself and you like look to gain knowledge and read or first understand like the basics of blockchain, maybe economics and why it's relevant today, and then you move on and start reading Git books and how each of these protocols actually interact with each other and with money, and you just continue to do that and spend time in the space, you'll just start to see opportunities, and you'll start to understand and be able to be comfortable with managing your own money. And over time that really adds up. So if you invest in yourself, opportunities will come. And a quote that I really like to think about all the time, whenever I'm looking at something, that I got actually from Dovey Wan, which is like she's a VC in the space, but a really big role model for me and someone that I followed early on. She's worked on a lot of tech startups and a lot of real world applications. So she has a lot of experience. The quote is, liquidity flows to the highest yield, and two, the least friction.
Yeah, the
And I
lowest
think that in
transaction fees.
general, yeah, least friction. I mean, in all ways, like user experience can create friction, so there needs to be good user experience,
Yup.
etc. And that ease of friction is only becoming easier and easier as the space develops. So, like in general, crypto in general, it has highest yield and the least friction.
Yep.
Like I said, like
Always.
the friction is getting better. So, like, over time, I believe that crypto is absolutely going to grow, just thinking on that quote. And that quote I use for not only the micro but the macro, like both micro and macro. That's
Yeah,
it.
no, I think that's super key, right? It's like liquidity. It's called liquidity, right? So it follows the path. There's a reason we call it liquidity. It behaves the same way water does. It will always follow the path of least resistance, right? And currently the hardest impasse when it comes to cryptocurrency is getting value on chain. The most difficult process is to KYC with Coinbase or Kraken or FTX, KYC in, link up your bank, and get stable coins and send them off of the exchange to your non-custodial wallet, to the wallet you control. That is by far the most difficult thing. Once you surmount that impasse, then all of a sudden, sending money, like if someone is on chain, for me, sending the money or paying for something happens in 5 seconds. It doesn't matter how much money it is. It happens in 5 seconds, right? And it's like more and more people are accepting blockchain. My travel agent takes stable coins on any layer. I can send him Avalanche stable coins, BSC, Polygon. He takes stable coins, books tickets for me, charters a plane, anything I want. All I gotta do is send him stable coins. He's paid in 15 seconds. There's no credit card to process. There's no, you know what I mean? Like there's nothing to do like that. So it's like you owe your friend some money. PayPal might hold the money. USDC, they get it in 5 seconds, and there's no one who can ever stop them. You know, their funds are permissionless at that point. So yeah, that's it. Like, I'll have Liquidity post some links, and if
Yeah.
you guys are interested, well, you know, like basically like we've been through the hard knocks. Like we've had to wake up at 2 a.m. and emergency withdrawal from protocols that were exploited, and like we've gone through the sort of hot summer of DeFi, and like now it's like there are plenty of reward tokens to reap right now, like literally plenty of reward tokens. I think there's actually, he was in here earlier, there was actually a developer of a protocol in here. He's still here. He developed a protocol that's a stable swap. It's a curve fork on Kronos, and like I'll be in there farming his reward token, because he's going to be paying out probably between 2,000 and 500% APY on stable coins, like for a couple of weeks, if the project attracts liquidity, which it will, because there's no stable swap on Kronos, right? So it's like these are the opportunities we look for. Is like, oh, can we get in a project at an early time and benefit from the rewards that are being dropped, and understand like the fundamentals that move the market, and the ability to like keep control of our keys and our funds and keep them secure on chain. So
And so boot camp, guys, if a bunch of you are here because you have friends or contacts or family who went through the boot camp, and the boot camp is our way of helping regular people onboard into DeFi and the cryptocurrency universe. And what it's designed to do is basically take you from being stuck, right? Stuck exactly where MasterChef was talking about, of like, I want to take my normal fiat money and turn it into cryptocurrency, and I have no way to do that, to actually using the strategies that market makers use, that huge whales like MasterChef uses, that super sharp yield farmers like LeBlanc use. And the bootcamp is an immersive experience that really on-ramps you all the way up. And the next one is going to be on January 17th. So it's starting in a few weeks here. And MasterChef, what would you want people to know about this bootcamp experience?
I mean, just like the biggest thing is that I found that's hard for people to get over is like their own limited belief system about like how hard it is to earn money and what needs to be done to do it. And like that causes people to like self-sabotage, fight themselves, prevent themselves from accessing it when it's like because it's literally just in stark opposition to like what 90% of people are taught about like what effort you have to extend to get wealthy. Right. And like how far you have to go before you can have passive income. Like these ideas like, oh, you have to build a business and be a business owner and sell your business, or you have to have like enough money to invest in real estate or anything like this. And like they don't realize like you can literally earn like we're at a point in the world where like you can literally earn like, dude, with 30 grand, you could live in a lot of parts of Thailand, like 30 grand in Curve, you could make like 11 grand a year and fucking live totally chill in Thailand and like be building your fucking online business or whatever you want, like not even trying, right? So it's just like uh check your DMs, Liquidity. But that's really what it is like you just have to be able to eliminate your limited belief systems and like get to a point where you're like, oh my god, it is actually possible. Like this is actually possible to get this much money paid to me for just providing liquidity. It's the hardest thing it's the hardest impasse that people face by far in my mind. It's just like literally being open to the gains and going like, oh fuck, like I really can just deposit $1 million in Curve DAO and have 30 grand a month, like pretty consistently without doing anything but like coming to harvest every couple days. Like compound till the end of the month and then sell everything that was over $1 million. Like, congratulations. So
guys, here we go. Do you want to riff on this, MasterChef?
I can't see it right now. 1 second. So I mean, important to note that like Liquidity was the like my first student and like the first person to convince me that it was like worthwhile teaching. She like found out that I'd moved to the place that I live now and like hounded me down in texts via a business, like via like a what is it like a business group, like these WhatsApp groups of like different startup people and stuff like that. And like she literally hounded me down, and then she like asked to come over and like order food for me one day, and then like sat me down and gave me $3,500 and was like, tell me shit. And I was like, okay. And she's like, I think you should teach people stuff. And I was like, takes a lot of time. And then like that's how this all evolved. And like after basically like almost a year and a half of kind of like publicly teaching people, this is our first like boot camp format course. I've done just a huge amount of free education online here, and running these, we wanted to make sure that like these actual webinars like actually had value in them for people, right? It's not just like, of course, like if you want to come and join our boot camp, we'd be thrilled. And at the same time, like we provide you with enough information that you can now go do this. And that's really what it is. Like we want people to have the level of freedom that we've attained. It's really, really nice to not have that like itch in the back of the head or like the boss calling you or like anything like that, and like really just be sovereign over your own money and like really just be sovereign over your own money and be able to like make your own decisions, live where you want. I mean, you literally just need like a mobile dApp browser, like mobile MetaMask or SafePal, something like that. And like if you have a good phone or tablet, like you can just do this from anywhere that you have 4G. And it's really like
really pretty like awe-inspiring and awesome to be able to do. So that's kind of like what I would recommend is like if you want to learn more, join the course. We'll have a super good time. Everyone who helps to teach is just like incredible and really, really just like really just excited about the space and what it's been able to do for us, and like we want to share that. Have I met Satoshi? You're so funny.
So,
Oh
and
my
yeah,
god.
on this boot camp, guys like LeBlanc, who you heard talking, he's a teacher. I'm a teacher. We have some other really awesome folks coming in who are just so excited, and we love what we do, you know? And so and like this that I'm showing you now is the actual course platform that has all the content on it. But then you're also we meet with you guys every week and take you through signals and get you into high APY projects that you wouldn't be able to find otherwise. And you also get assigned a teacher to work with you one-on-one. So help you where you're stuck and really give you that customized support. So even if you are at a little more of an advanced level, you actually get to work with our teachers who are real degens ourselves, who gives you that customized support too.
So HyperX, yes, are there concerns about government intervention? I don't have any concerns about government intervention because blockchain and government are like oil and water. Like blockchain is its own governance utility. And because it's a decentralized virtual machine, like nothing short of a total fucking solar flare can actually stop a permissionless blockchain from existing as a decentralized virtual ledger, right? So it's like unless we have like a literal day zero, all technology is destroyed and we're back in the Neolithic age all of a sudden. Like, there's not anything that a government can do to shut down automated market makers or lending protocol or anything like that. And like, I look at it kind of like weed, which like government regulation is just marketing, like government regulation is literally marketing blockchain. Like that's like what it comes down to. Like eventually they just then be something you can stop. So yeah, does anyone else have any other questions? Anyone in the voice chat have any type of like, anything they want to know, any specific questions, let us know. We're here in the chat. We'll have another webinar probably in a couple weeks, cover some of the information we didn't get to. Yeah, and that's really it. Hope you guys join us. Is the program complete at your own pace?
So it's actually,
So
so we paste you guys together because what we're actually doing with you guys is in the group meetings each week, we're bringing you guys through different parts of the DeFi universe. And the course content is also like cadenced out so that you guys are doing the same stuff together. And we do that simply because we want you guys to really get the right set of skills, whether it's lending protocols or how to leverage auto compounders or how to, have your APY outpace deflation, that kind of stuff. We bring you guys all together so that you're all like learning and growing. And then you also have each other as a community. As we know, like you find crypto, there's a lot of info out there and there's not a lot of like trust. So we really create like basically a safe space for people to really learn and have questions and, move forward together.
Join the pool at your DYO. Join the pool at your own risk. Exactly. Like what's the APY on single staking right now on the website, bro?
We didn't even plan the egg thing at all. It just naturally came up. It was just there.
Yeah, I know. That's like that's a lot of DeFi, dude. You're like, ooh, this juicy pool just opened. What is it? Let me look at the project. Is this gonna crash and burn? Nope, might not crash and burn. Guess I'm putting some money in it. I'm making more money. Amazing.
So
Yay.
on the single staking, it depends on the price of feed. I haven't checked the price of feed. Feed is used to feed your chickens so that they can lay eggs and like to upgrade them. But
Yep.
it depends on the price of feed. Last time I checked, like a day or two ago, it was about the same as the pool currently, around 3% a day.
Oh, so you're 3% single staking. You're not putting up any of that AVAX liquidity, huh? Look at
Nah,
you.
don't need to.
Do you have a chicken?
No, I wish I had some chickens, but I went for the. I'm like, frankly, I'm scared of NFTs. I have like, yeah, I'm not the NFT expert, so I just deploy the liquidity.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that I don't know if she's here right now, but I think one of our team members, she did like a point. I got so mad. I was like, she minted a bunch of like 0.05 NFTs, and the floor on them is 0.75 ETH right now, dude. And I was like, how did you not tell me about this? It's like free money, dude. Like, I was like, it was limit 2 per wallet. I was like, dude, I would have deployed a contract to grab like 10 wallets worth. Like, what do you do? Like, I wanted 7.5 free ETH, dude. Like, what the hell? So funny, man. Chicken farm.
Chat, have any questions about the boot camp that we can answer right now just because we're all here?
Super small project, dude. Low liquidity,
Courtney
very
says, can we
volatile.
please get the info on how to sign up for boot camp?
Yeah, post the Kajabi, post the link directly to the thing and pin it so that people can just click on it and go there. Just like post the portal link. People can go directly to there. I think we use Stripe for payment processing, so it's like, it's like whatever. We're fully KYC with Stripe and everything like that, and they have a
I'm gonna
I think
post
they
the link
take
in.
Apple Pay and Google Pay, I'm pretty sure. And yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna post that. Give me one
Oh,
sec. So
people
there's
on, just
that.
keep
Just keep posting.
just
I'm gonna post it again right now, guys.
yeah, just have Coma spam it, dude. Like every few minutes, just spam it. All right. I'm gonna break. We're almost at 2 hours, so we went a little bit over. But I'm going to bust out of here and go get some dev work going on and see like what needs to get finished. Basically, we're pretty good. We made a significant accomplishment. I'm stoked. I'll tell you guys in a minute. It's so awesome.
Awesome.
Peace.
So yeah, guys, this is it. Peace, Master Chef. See you.
Laters.
So Master Chef is off. I see a couple more bootcamp questions, so I'll just answer them here. And M. Cloudy says, would bootcamp be good for a beginner who hasn't heard a lot of these terms? And so yes, so LeBlanc says it's designed for that. It's also valuable for intermediate people. Yes, because you can actually see, I'll show you guys. I'm going to share right now. You can see here in our portal, like the first few sections here are really for the beginners, but then the advanced content is much more intermediate, because we actually designed this. It's not just like, oh, we're going to hold your hand the whole time. It's like, we're actually getting you into being a DeFi degen quickly. Like we help you onboard your fiat, and then you're actually playing in farms. You're publishing transactions to the blockchain. You're learning how to do stuff like that AVAX pair that we just did. And because it's a combined course and collaborative learning experience, whether you're a beginner or an intermediate, you get one-on-one support and you're getting a group support. So it's customized, right? And we intentionally did it that way because we know that there's a lot of different degens out there who are there just isn't a lot of real education in this space. And I'm personally passionate about education, obviously. So we've really tried to create this into a real on-ramp for people to learn these skills they need to know to be successful here. Kia says, you mentioned boot camp is in January. Are there any other dates? The next one is in January. We'll probably do one later in the spring as well. How many people can participate in January? Oh, dude. I mean, we have amazing teachers. So honestly, I mean, we could take 25 people. LeBlanc, you ready to get like a lot of students?
Yeah, I'm
Guys,
I'm
LeBlanc's ready.
expecting it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
Young Wick says, I tried to access it, but it sent this. Yes, you need to click that link. I'll also just post the link directly in the chat, guys. Give me 1 sec. Because we have a couple different things here. We have one link that's a buy now, and then we have one link that is for interviews. And for some of you, I mean, I know some of you came through, you have friends who are in the previous boot camp, you're just fucking ready to go. Like, you can use the buy now link and then you'll get started faster and you'll get assigned a trainer sooner. The group starts on the 17th, but then we also have a link to interview. So if you're like, I really want to talk to a human, you can do that. However, we are offering a discount for those who do buy now because, as we know, and I was just talking to Tiggs about this, for example, that money you save, you can 10x in this space. It's like, and I mean, that's the point of this, right? Is earning, is getting to financial freedom. See any other questions about this? And this is an immersive experience too, right? It's like we're with you guys holding your hands, literally holding your hands, from not having any idea what the hell is going on to actually aping into stuff like that bomb money thing that I was on, which was printing like 2% a day, you know? And for us, it's also like the getting our team compensated for the time, attention, energy that we spend with you guys is really important too, because we want to make sure that we keep a really high quality team around people like LeBlanc, you know, people like Hammy Cates, people like Tiggs. We want to make sure that these people are on board and that we can support them as well. So guys, that's what we got for you today. We'll leave the chat channel open for a little while, so if you have any more questions about it, feel free. I'll also post a couple of names of people on our admin team, so if you have questions or you want to sign up for an interview, you're super excited about it. Oh, Crypto Tier says, how long is it? They're for an entire month. And you're meeting in a group meeting weekly, sometimes twice a week, and then you're also meeting with your trainer every week as well. And you're getting the in-between support from your trainer in the community too. How many hours a day? That's up to you, dude. I mean, if you're LeBlanc, you're going to be like driving around, checking your farms in between your Amazon deliveries. But some people just do it, you know, for like an hour. And what you get into, what you put into it is what you get out of it effectively. So this is it, guys. This is it. Thanks everybody for hopping on, and we're here. So if you have questions, let us know. We'll be in the chats, and we'll do another webinar soon and let you guys know and cover some of this, the dark forest, maybe cover some of the couple market maker strategies and understanding order books. So some other really important things for you guys to grow in crypto.
thank you.